We have new episodes dropping every other week. You can find them early on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, or wherever you find your podcasts, or find the link below for our Megaphone landing page, and we will see you around the campfire.
Hey, I'm Jess,
And I'm Paul.
and welcome to Campfire Ashes. Now gather round, pull up a log, and let me tell you a campfire story. It's getting late, Ken. Are you sure you don't want to just stay over? Yuki pleaded. Sorry, Yuki. Mom would never allow it. School night, you know? Ken slung his backpack over his shoulder and kicked the kickstand up on his bike. Besides, I know a shortcut. He turned his attention to the road ahead. Yuki grabbed his arm. Ken, don't take the tunnel, not this late. Concern welled in her gaze. Yuki. Ken chuckled. I'll be fine. It's not dark yet. And if I hear anything, I'll just pedal faster. I know the rules, okay? You worry too much. He gently moved his arm out of her grasp, kissing her hand before dropping it, and rode off into the setting sun. Ken often took the tunnel as a shortcut from his girlfriend's home to his. Nothing out of the ordinary for him. But he was told from a young age the legends surrounding the Whispering Tunnel. All the kids in his village were. Slaves forced to build the tunnel ended up dead and buried beneath it, restless souls seeking revenge, the whole 9 yards. Ken never had a problem using the tunnel. During the day. But if he didn't take the tunnel home now, it'd add another 20 minutes to his ride and his mom would be pissed. As he approached the entrance to the tunnel, the sun having just set behind the mountain, he slowed his bike to a stop and peered down it. The tunnel wasn't that long, and there were homes on the other end that would normally have a porch light on at night, but Ken couldn't see anything on the other side. He looked at his watch. No time for the long way. He took a deep breath and started into the tunnel, building up speed. If he pedaled fast enough, he wouldn't even be in the tunnel a minute. Surely that wasn't long enough for anything to get to him. Not that he believed anything lurked in the tunnel to begin with, having traveled through it without incidents dozens of times. He gasped. Had he been holding his breath this whole time? Whatever, he thought. Just keep moving. I'm just letting the stories get to me. I didn't hear my name. He shook his head as if to shake the thoughts out while he kept pedaling. Funny. It had definitely been longer than a minute, but he was still in the tunnel. Complete darkness. He kept going because he wasn't about to stop to get his bearings. He sucked in a breath. Ken. Where are you going, Ken? 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 Where are you going? Ken! Several whispers bounced off the tunnel walls through Ken's ears, almost like he was surrounded by people sitting and whispering to him. He pedaled faster, as fast as he could, hoping to reach the end of the tunnel any second. Suddenly, he felt a breath on the back of his neck. Ken! Ah! Startled, he turned around, still pedaling, and toppled over to the ground. As soon as he hit the ground, the whispers stopped. Groaning, he sat up on his elbow and looked around for his bike. He was ignoring whatever was talking, getting back on his bike, and getting the hell out of here. Unable to see, he sat up on his knees and felt around for his bike. After a beat, he felt the cool metal of his handlebars beneath his fingertips and got the bike and himself up. A faint light glinted slightly further ahead, what Ken thought might be the porch lights he'd expected to see. He hopped back on his bike and went in the direction of the light, pedaling faster and faster. Ken was determined to get the hell out of this tunnel, now. Just as he'd closed in on the end of the tunnel, the whispers were back, encapsulating him in a cacophony of noise, anguishing screams, maniacal laughter. He pushed forward, the heart beating out of his chest, blood pumping so hard he thought his heart might explode. As he cleared the threshold, light returning to him and enveloping him like a warm blanket, fresh out of the dryer, he slowed to a stop, sighed in relief, and dropped his head. Only then did he notice the black, shadowy hands beside his on the handlebars. Ken. He hard swallowed. We aren't finished yet. The shadowy hands wrapped around his waist and ripped him off the bike, pulling him back into the abyss of the tunnel behind him. Ken tried to scream, but it only came out as a whisper. So this is I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this, and I hope I don't, but this is what I believe is pronounced the Kiyotaki Tunnel in Kyoto, Japan, also known as the Whispering Tunnel. So, this is like one of the most haunted locations in Japan, which is like it's not a house, it's not a graveyard, or like, you know, because I'd thought about doing around the site of the bombings from World War II, but I'm like, save that for another time. So when I was researching other haunted places in Japan, this one had come up several times. And I'm like, oh, a tunnel, like that's interesting. You know? Like what's that about? And as I read more about it, I was like, oh, no, it's not interesting. I don't like it. I don't like any of that. So, okay, so it's a single lane tunnel that was originally part of the I'm gonna butcher this, Atagayama Railway, which was built in 1927 and completed in 1928, which is why it is now a single lane, because it is still in use, but it's been converted to just like cars and bikes and stuff can go through there. So it's narrow. No, so it's narrow. So it's still in use. You just don't want to be in there. It's roughly 1,640 feet. So in my story, it was a little like embellished a bit because he's a teenage boy, and you know, teenagers like it's not that far. It's rumored that the tunnel was originally constructed with slaves, and you know, it's like the 20s, and there's slave labor and everything, so like conditions are not great, and I'm sure it doesn't surprise you that there were a number of fatalities, you know, during the building process. But so the thing surrounding all of these fatalities is that they just kind of seemed like, you know, it was difficult working conditions. You know, they were building a railway. Like you said, they didn't exactly treat slaves like people because they, you know, were slaves. Not that slaves aren't people, but you know what I mean. Slave owners don't treat slaves like people, they treat them like property, which is completely fucked up, and that's why that's not a thing. Yeah, that's not a thing. I don't believe in that. I'm just no, it needs to be said because, you know, like, and I don't want to go on like a whole political rant here, but it's like people that are like, oh, like, you know, since the civil rights movement, like racism isn't a thing anymore, and it's like, no, it very much is. Like, so I just, you know, people can surprise you, and yeah, I just want to put it out there that like that's deplorable, and I don't condone it. Any of that, just put it out there, just so there's no questions. It was the working conditions and how they were being treated. It didn't seem like, you know, they were on like unholy ground or something when they were building this. But because of the way that this was constructed, it's believed that these are the souls that are roaming the tunnel, haunting it, causing all of these strange occurrences. There's also another theory that it was cursed by an ancient man who died in battle, like in like the Kiyotaki area. I don't have much more information on that, but that's another theory. So it was built in 1927, completed in 1928, and it was still active through like World War II. So like, you know, 1944, it was carrying people to, okay, I'm gonna butcher these names. Sorry. Arashiyama, Kiyotaki-gawa, and Ataga. So because I'm not an expert by any means. I don't even think I'm a novice. in the Japanese language. But because it was active at that time and carrying people to all these places, it made it a very essential part of the railroad. Um, and it was one of the most important stops for those making pilgrimages to the Itago Jinja shrine. And like I said, it's still not abandoned. It's just been repurposed. So like now it's just like you could drive through the tunnel or ride a bike through it. There's no more tracks. And now it's stories vary. It's mostly people driving cars through it more so than a bike, because again, it's a pretty long tunnel. But here's like a few examples of like what people experience. So some people say that like as soon as you enter the tunnel, a ghostly apparition will appear in your car, and like it's kind of like a hitchhiking ghost from Haunted Mansion. Like it'll just show up in your car, and then once you get out of the tunnel, it's gone. It just goes away.
Ooh, okay.
Then other people have heard voices, screams, whispers, like people talking to them as they're passing through. Some people don't experience anything like outwardly paranormal, like they don't see or hear things, but like in the tunnel they'll feel dizzy or nauseous or even like get a headache that goes away as soon as they get out of the tunnel. Which like people susceptible to like paranormal and spiritual things can often experience those side effects.
Yeah, so it could be electromagnetic, it could be fumes, could be anything like that. By the way, guys, if you have not been listening to me, I just realized that I may have muted my mic for like the first like 6 to 7 minutes of this stupid podcast. So I apologize if it sounds like Jess was talking to herself. I'm dumb.
Oh no, you're not dumb.
But go ahead.
Do we need to start over?
No, we don't need to start over. I'm going to if you're talking to me, I'm just going to cut that part out to where it just looks like you're just having a dissertation. Then I'll chime in.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. That was dumb. Anyway.
It happens. Yeah, so like I'm one of those people that is susceptible to like paranormal things, and
same, that's why I don't go ghost hunting with anybody.
Yeah, I am dumb and still do that.
I don't, because I'm the person that like shit happens to, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I carry protection on me, and you know, like I've taken like holy water to places if I need to. But yeah, like I have like had firsthand experiences with like getting dizzy or headaches or like feeling nauseous in haunted places like New Orleans. Oh, that was a time.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Fun, but whole time. But that's not what we're talking about today. And I have never.
Yeah,
been
that was last week.
Yes. And I have never been here. I want to go to Japan.
So do I.
I don't know that I want to go here.
I'm not.
No. Well, I don't
that or the Suicide Forest. I'm fine with not going to any of those places.
Fuck that. Yeah, no, not happening. I don't know if I'd go to Kyoto. I know I want to go to Tokyo, but yeah. Anyway. So, again, these hauntings typically happen at night.
Okay,
and
so
like,
don't
and
bike or walk
people,
through that stuff.
Or even drive through it. Like local people urge against like using that tunnel at night at all unless you like absolutely have to.
Ugh.
And this is because like these things don't usually happen during the day, but at night all this activity happens, and like people have seen, you know, like full body apparitions of like a woman dressed in white, you know, like the white woman,
Mm-hmm.
the woman in white, like stuff like that. Like that happens here too in the tunnel. Other people report seeing handprints on the hoods of their car after they go through the tunnel.
No.
You know, like creepy shit like that. And people are also warned, like, if you do end up having to go through the tunnel at all, but specifically at night, do not, under any circumstances, look at your mirrors while you're in the tunnel.
Okay.
Because, you know, legend has it that if you do, whether it's, you know, a puddle in the road that you're passing, or like your rear view mirror or your side mirrors, or like even if you happen to look at your window and it's dark enough that you can see a reflection, if you glance supposedly for even 1 second, you'll see a spirit that is yourself as a dead person, and then you'll die in a few days.
What the fuck? No.
Basically,
absolutely not.
Like when you die, and then you die in a few days. So,
okay, so we're never going to that tunnel.
Yeah. There's a footage on YouTube of like people walking through this tunnel.
And this is like only at night when those things happen.
It's more active at night. It's not that it can't happen during the day. It's just like during the day, if you go through it, like, okay, like, you know, mind the rules, but you should be fine. But like at night, it's like, really don't do this unless you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but like people on YouTube, they've gone in there and they've posted videos. I'm not brave enough to watch those videos.
Oh, of course they're morons will be like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
For the clicks.
Yeah, I'm not brave enough to watch those videos.
No.
Because I don't need that energy in my life. And also, you know, people can fake videos.
Yeah.
People could fake stuff. I don't, you know. So I won't be linking any of those in the show notes, but I do have the link to the article that I gave you most of this information from.
Yeah, those.
Apparently this is like kind of common in Japan, like whispering tunnels. Like this isn't the only one. This is just the most like notable.
Oh, really?
So it's like, why is this a thing?
So Japan has a lot of whispering issues.
Yeah, I mean it's not specific to Japan. Like, you know, there are whispering tunnels in the U.S. and like other places. It's not like a common specific to Japan like type of haunting, but
Awesome. So there are places in the U.S. that I need to avoid.
yeah.
Is there any here? Did you find any of those like near us?
Let me Google.
Like I don't need to like worry about the two tunnels that I need to go through to get to you, kind of thing.
Oh no, you're fine.
There's definitely been some of the U.S. that like just look creepy as shit.
Okay, there is the Grand Central Terminal Whispering Gallery in New York.
All right, well, I don't go to Grand Central Station, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, out of that. I've been there, but not through this. I don't see any like specific lists or anything.
Okay.
If I happen to, I'll let you know. But
So you would need like the weird New Jersey kind of stuff for like a state specific to be able to find like that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. If you need to dig that far, then there's nothing like local.
Exactly. So
And I'm fine with not having local stuff try to kill me.
Same. Hate that.
Yeah, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of like any of the whispering stuff. Oh, like whispering, knocking, all that kind of stuff. Like Twitch has that now. Like a couple of streamers I follow have like there's like jump scare kind of stuff, and one of the jump scares is knocking. And if you have good headphones, it sounds exactly like someone's knocking on your door, and every time it goes off, like just refuse. Like I mute their stream for the rest of the night because I'm like, okay, I'm
I
not dealing with
cannot.
that.
I can't. I cannot. I cannot do that. I can't.
Mm-mm.
Whispers, knocking. No, I'm okay.
Yeah, hell no.
Even whistling freaks me out too. No. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I can
I'm
see
good.
that.
I am good on that.
So now we
Yeah,
have two Japan stories that are just like creepy as shit.
Yeah, so if you find yourself in Japan, maybe don't go here. And if you're adventurous and you feel like doing it and you live to tell the tale, let me know if anything happens to you.
Yeah, if any of our listeners have actually been to Japan and maybe have done this, if you're one of those crazy people that are just like, I want to go see all the paranormal stuff. We don't have a lot of in common, but like, which is weird because it's funny. It's funny that like we're doing this thing, like we're doing this podcast, and but like we're both kind of scaredy cats as far as some of the stuff.
I'll like do certain things, but it really depends on what it is. Like some things, the vibes are just not even remotely good. Like this is one of them where I'm like, no, I can't do that. But like I did like cemetery tours and stuff in New Orleans, and like I saw like Marie Laveau's grave and stuff like that, and like brought her an offering. You know, was not getting my ass hexed. But yeah, it depends on to a certain degree. Like if it's I gotta do my research basically before I'll commit to doing certain things. Like if I have a way out of like if I have a way to like cover my ass, I'll do things. You know?
Mm-hmm. So apparently there is an abandoned tunnel in Pennsylvania.
Not surprising.
Yeah, it's apparently like when they moved the turnpike, like this tunnel was just like not used anymore.
Oh yeah. Yep. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Bedford and Fulton counties.
Yep.
Yep, it's an abandoned PA turnpike.
Yeah, it's heard some things.
Yeah, only had a 1-lane tunnel.
I've heard some things.
And
Not good things.
About this tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not whispers, but not
Just
good.
just not good things.
Not good.
It's not a safe tunnel. You don't have to worry about the ghosts, you have to worry about people.
Shadows, apparitions.
Oh, that. Okay. I was when you were like not good things, I assumed like muggers.
Oh, well, that too. I'm sure that too. But no, I've mostly just heard like shadows, like disembodied voices calling your name, not like whispering, but like calling your name. Or like trying to talk to you. Just yeah, just stuff I don't like at all.
Yeah, no. No, not even a little.
Don't want to be a part of that at all. Fuck that. And remember, last one out douses the fire. If you heard something, no, you didn't. And if you're here with us next time, that means you made it to morning.